Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mike and Rob, and we're back here at the Flyby. So, want to thank you guys for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. Yes.
Super excited about today. Obviously, we're here live at the FOP here in the Great Northeast. We have a great guest tonight, and
Big time guest for us.
was that
Big time guest for us.
absolutely, definitely
We're happy to have him.
So, joining us here tonight is Chris Nowacek. Chris is creator, founder of the Drunk Bills Fans. Chris, thanks again for coming on, Cal.
Of course, thanks, guys. It's an honor to be on. I appreciate this. I was like looking at the you sent this beautiful like graphic. It's like special guest. I'm like, and my picture's there. I'm like, look at this. I'm a special guest.
Big time.
You know, I hope you don't mind. I saw it and I love the picture. You know, slugging down the beer here, the Drunk Phil fan page. So it couldn't be more fitting, I thought. You know,
Perfectly fitting.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't found a picture without me drinking, but you know,
that's true.
Mike didn't look that hard, but we couldn't find it.
So we're here, like we said, at the FOP. A lot of excitement here. It's got a decent crowd. Obviously, there's a big game here tonight. Penn State, Notre Dame, right?
Yep.
So it's almost like the battle of like, you know, Ogon's alumni here in the far Northeast and like folks with bad tattoos. You know what I mean? I have no skin in the game, right? Did go to Penn State. Not really a big Notre Dame fan, but I mean, since I'm here and in Pennsylvania, I want to root for the local team here at Penn State. You know, so Chris, let's kind of kick it off here. You have any skin in the game? I mean, what's your predictions on tonight? Who you like?
Yeah. So I didn't go to Penn State either, but being, you know, in Pennsylvania, like I'm rooting for Penn State. There was recently a study done, and I grew up in Northeast, live in Northeast. I'm one of only 5% of Northeast people that don't have a Fighting Irish tattoo. 95% too.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And bad ones too.
yeah, it's like bad leg ones that were like, you know, prison ones. But so, you know, James Franklin's a turd. He never wins a big game. So it's tough to like say that I'm going to root for Penn State. Well, yeah, I'm going to root for them because like they're the team I support. The spread's 44.5. It's a pick'em game. I'm going with a low scoring game or a lower scoring game, but I think Notre Dame wins this. Franklin can't win the big game. He just can't. He played SMU and Boise State. That's not a big game.
Right.
You know, he played Oregon and he got his ass handed to him. So I'm thinking it's going to be like 24-17, but it's not that close. It's like a late touchdown for Penn State to make it 17.
So I went to Penn State, and I'm not
Okay.
a homer or anything. I went to the Abington Ogons for 2 years. Went up to the main campus. I didn't really mesh well up there or do very well, so I just went back to the Ogons campus to finish there. But I just see it inevitable. Like I think they'll win tonight, but then they're going to play Ohio State, and they're not going to beat them. So it just seems like a path that. It's a fun game tonight, but it's going to be an ending the next week. You know?
So you guys mentioned you're at the FOP. Mike, I thought you weren't allowed in there for a couple of years. Like, did they release the ban or what's going on?
The ban's been lifted.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's
ever
go.
since that
Unofficial.
unofficially. I kind of know someone in here, and they kind of let me in for the night here.
All right.
That's why I had to wear the hat. I had sunglasses when I came in here. I just took them off for the podcast.
You look good, Mike.
Yeah, tried to. You know. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a big college football guy. I'm more follow the birds. You know what I mean? But I did watch the Penn State Oregon game this year. You know what I mean? It was a big game. And again, that from what I'm hearing, that was the big knock on him. You know, Franklin just can't get the job done.
Yeah.
Games, you know.
Yep.
But he's a local guy too here, so like I kind of love that. You know what I mean? That he's, you know, got some ties right here in our backyard. So I'm rooting for him. Man. Let's hope maybe he proves us wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the leash has to be short on this dude. because it's getting old, right? It's getting old. I don't know.
It's not fun to lose these big games.
Yeah.
I also feel like Notre Dame has always been like almost like elitists, like not having being in a conference and just having that game every week on NBC, and they're just playing whatever they want. Like join the league. What do you think?
I mean, they played a trash schedule too, but they beat Georgia, so and held them to what 10 points. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Georgia's legit.
They were too. Yeah.
So, Chris, I mean, I know, like, your realm here is the Phils, right? That's your, you're obviously the founder of the Drunk Phils fans, and big milestone this year. You're celebrating your 15th year of the founding. Yeah, definitely huge. And
Thank you.
what you've done there, I think, is kind of nothing short of amazing. The loyal following that you have, the amount of followers, through the podcast here with Drunk Phils Fans on Tap, which also, to Chris's credit here, top 20% of podcasts on Spotify, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. And you're entering your third season.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
Yep.
So, Chris, for those who may not be familiar with, the Drunk Phil fans, can you tell us and give them a little bit of a glimpse into who they are and what it's about?
Sure. So, this started 15 years ago, and it's basically the idea was it was just like me and my friends going to the corner bar, saying what we say, and, doing it on social media. So it started off as like a group. It was just me writing whatever I wanted, saying it, in this group. Eventually, like some of those things resonated with people because they're like, I was thinking the same thing. That's something we hear over and over, like on the page. I was thinking the same thing. And there's also people that are like, you're an asshole, you're pessimistic, and that's fine. It's not a lot of people, but it's enough we notice it because now what happened post that? Man, I don't know. One day it went from a group to a page, and then it just kind of grew. And then what happened beyond that was, I think it's a mixture of intelligent baseball talk, mostly about the Phillies, but MLB itself. So when there's a trade happening, we have it not first. We're not in the locker room. We don't know, but I got a bunch of guys that work with me that are like awesome. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook. They know when these things happen. So people come to us for those kind of like what's happening today. The other thing that was cool is when there's a game, we hear a lot that like watching a game is better with like Drunk Phils fans feed coming up on the side, because like we're constantly like saying like, look at this asshole, he just swung at a pitch 2 foot outside, or like taking a picture of us drinking beers or whatever we're doing. So eventually this became something where it was like, I've met friends through Drunk Phils fans, which is super cool to me, like good friends and, in-person friends that were just virtual friends. And what's even more cool is like, there's connections with other people on Drunk Phils fans. They come to one of our events, they're on the page, they're kind of like, talking and going out. And I think the community is like what's been awesome. It's just like we've resonated and hit some nail on the head with people. And how did we do it? I don't know. It's just like us being us. Like it's really like with me and my friends, or, me and you guys, you were over here. It's like how we talk, but we're putting it out there. And it is irreverent at times. We say fuck. I don't like Alec Boehm. I think Aaron Nola is terrible. But like some people are like, he's not terrible. Okay, that's fine. We don't kind of like go back at people. It's cool. That's good for you.
Agree to disagree here, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's a community here, and like you're
That's
gonna
it.
have those kind of chats with your friends, like, oh, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and you just kind of grew like maybe like a small group chat text message that you have with maybe 10 people to now like 60,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is
That's
incredible.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I still like don't see it that way because I'm like, I don't know. Like sometimes it's like what people want and what people expect from Drunk Phil's fans, guys, is like a big fat dude that's in his mom's like basement and she's doing his laundry while he's like typing out on the computer. Like that's what they expect. Like really.
They,
And then
they surprise the shit out of them when they see like, hey, I'm a married man. I got a family. I got a garage here.
Right. Yeah.
Incredible. You know, so obviously, you know, you're not only like a baseball Phillies community, but one thing that I kind of just found out from us kind of, you know, sitting in at the garage, cracking a couple beers here is that you're kind of leveraging your community here for, you know, to really bring awareness to, you know, cause that's really close to you with colorectal cancer. So, Chris, if you don't mind, man, just take a minute, tell us a little bit about like the philanthropy part that now this has kind of become, and you know the charitable things that you guys are doing here on DPF.
Yeah, so like you know, eventually the name's cool, so like I make some logo and we sell it on some shirt. But what we've done throughout the years is so the Temple police officer, Christopher Fitzgibbons, like when what happened to him, we sold a shirt and we said 100% going to his charity. 100%. A lot of these places, like it's 10 and 15 and 20. That's cool. Like it's more than nothing. But we found that, you know, people ask like, what do you hope DPF is or hope it becomes? And I'm like, we have a voice and we're able to kind of like help things that are important to us. So law enforcement's important to us. So we're going to help law enforcement in that instance. One of our guys, Mike, he recently, you know, went and got colonoscopy done and came up with colorectal cancer. So he eventually talked to the Colorectal Cancer Alliance and was like, listen, like we have this voice where we have the ability to kind of like maybe help in some way and help. It's not only monetary because we're selling these shirts, drunkphilsfans.com, right on the homepage. We're donating 100% to the charity. Along with that, if you buy something from now through January 31st, I have a Kyle Schwarber signed ball that your name goes into, you know, a hat. And at the end of the month, if you buy a colorectal shirt, we're giving you like 2 entries. But why are we doing that? Well, because it's important to us. And I think like we want to feel good about what we're doing. And it's not just about baseball. It's not just about drinking. It's about helping people that need help, right? And it's not just, you know, colorectal. We've done this with a lot. So we've helped Little Flower High School, Darren Dalton Foundation. It like kind of goes on and on of like, when we're selling stuff, we're giving back. And it honestly makes me feel good. And I think it's a good message to my kids and to the kids of people that are seeing it, you know. And yeah, you see the drunk word and you're like, oh, these guys must be assholes. But they have, you know, a lot of people have no idea that we're really giving back a lot. I mean, I need some of it because beer is not free.
Right.
So like, you know, I need some beer money, but we a lot of times we're kind of doing these things. So if you're 45 and older, male or female, get your colonoscopy, shit in the box, do whatever you got to do because it can make a difference between like you being caught early or caught a little bit late and have to go through some things. And we don't want that. So that's part of the message we're trying to share as well.
Hey, Chris, you know, 47, I've been getting colonoscopies since I was in my 20s. They suck. The fucking prep blows.
Yep.
But you know what blows worse? Fucking cancer.
Yep.
So, you know what? Every 3 years, you got to go. Every 5 years, however it is, just go and get it done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's you know, I think you're kind of, you know, bringing light to sometimes, like, listen, people don't want to kind of talk about it. Like, I don't want that. You might be a little kind of fearful of it. So the fact that you guys here are not only kind of bringing awareness to it, giving back to it. I just think that speaks volumes to that you're a lot more than just a, drunk guys talking about this, but you care, you get back, take care of your own.
Yeah.
And
So I just turned 50 New Year's Eve.
Uh-huh.
I have my first colonoscopy scheduled next week. So I'm not excited about it, but
Yeah.
got to
but-
get it done. But I love how you guys not only raise money for it, because it has hit home on your own show here,
Mhm.
but just the awareness. If you can get one person to go get checked out early and, it helps. Like, I love that part.
Rob, that's it. We're not saying, we know everyone's not going to fucking listen, but like,
Right.
it could be one person
Yeah.
that it's a polyp now, and it's simple. We
Yeah.
caught it. So,
That's the best part, I feel.
yeah, we're hopeful
I
it's
commend
more
you
than,
guys. That's great.
thank you.
You guys are doing a great job.
Yep.
So guys, listen, check out, buy some merch here. Check out Drunk Phil's fans. Again, enter to win the drawing for autographed baseball from Kyle Schwarber, on top of donating to a good cause. Chris, phenomenal.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So kind of get it back to, DPF here and the actual, like, obviously we said you're celebrating 15 years, and, along that way, it's been quite a fucking journey. And, not that I want to say that this thing is that you failed, by no means. It's the opposite. You've had great success here. But with anything, you're going to have your tribulations. You're going to have those down moments here. Chris, was there a moment throughout there that kind of resonates with you where you're like, you know what, fuck this, I'm done, you know what I mean? Or something that kind of sticks in your mind that made it, you're like, man, this was a challenge.
Yeah. So one of the things that like stands out is like, I created this name 15 years ago, and putting the drunk word in it, it's like the beauty of it was it's eye catching. The negative of it is, they think I'm some fat dude in my mom's basement. I have a fucking Ivy League degree. Like, and all of our people are cool. Like, and kind of like doing important things. So if I could go back, I'd probably not use the drunk word. It's such a negative connotation. And it kind of like, there's been people that have been like, oh, well, we don't want to connect with you because of the drunk word. And we don't want, so like, but I wouldn't change it. I think about it, but like, that's one of the things where it's like, and all of our guys, like, I think all of our guys are like college educated. We're not like some fucking numbskulls, but when you see that name, that's what they expect. They kind of expect kind of like what you're seeing with the other kind of fan sites. It's just a bunch of knuckleheads.
Though, too. You know what I mean? Right, Chris? Like, it kind of is. Like, yeah, we drink beers, but like, yeah, like sometimes we get we may be feeling good, but I think it's kind of tongue in cheek, and it's kind of become like the identity here of who you are. So it's hard to turn back.
Yeah, so like the original thought of it wasn't like alcohol. I was like intoxicated on the fills. Like, you guys have sat here enough and like talked to me. Like, I love baseball. I love the Phillies. Like, it's literally like, I don't know, my family, baseball, and other stuff. But during the season, sometimes baseball is number one. I know it's not okay. I know it's not good, but like, that's just the way it is. So like, that's the original thought of the drunk, but like, I don't know, maybe I could have called it Super Phil's fans. But that
bring to.
Right. Then we're not able, like, no one's want to wear a fucking Super Phil fan shirt.
So on the other side, what's your biggest, what did we say, biggest accomplishment so far?
Biggest win, I mean, what are you kind of most proud of? What do you kind of look back in if you had to pick that one moment, right?
Maybe even it's not even here yet. Maybe. But what do you think? What's a big thing that has happened to you guys?
Man, so like, I think the numbers are one thing, but like, I'm kind of connected with my friends every day that are other admins on DPF. So Chris Dugan, Mike Christie, Joe Negler, John, like, we're talking every day. And like, we're just closer. It wouldn't have been that way. And then there's other people that are like part of the DPF family, Sig and Alex and Steve. Like, on the comments, Steve is he actually, I saw he commented, he says fuck the Mets. Like, we have our people like kind of listening, so it's like it's the community that I'm most proud of. It's the connections, because like our, like, I guess where our people are, it's normally like they're like 35 to 55, and like some of these people are like family and have a husband or a wife, but some of them are like alone, and they're like, I don't feel like I'm watching the Phils alone when I have DPF up. And that's pretty cool to me. You know, that kind of like, I was like, all right, I'm going to write fuck the Mets one more time.
I know, that's what I love to, like, as you grow older, you realize it's about making connections with people.
Yeah.
You know, building relationships stronger. Like me and Mike have been so tight now doing this, which I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what my wife, I was in line, I was sitting there texting him last night, and he was over my house, and she's like, who's that, your boyfriend?
One of those. Yeah. Like
Right,
Renee will be like, you know, who are you texting? And I'm like, I'm not texting. I'm like putting a post up. You know, it's like
Right.
1 in the
Yeah.
morning, but I got, or, you know, I'm texting the guys like some idea, or, you know, Chris Dugan does a lot of our memes. So I'm like, hey, Chris, what if we did this? And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, boom, you know, we put it up.
Done.
So
Love
it's so awesome. It's
Yeah.
the people. It's the
And
people.
you know what? Hopefully, you know, I mean, we kind of take a feather out of your hat here and kind of run with it. So
Yeah.
That's again one of the things that we kind of the premise of kind of what we're trying to do here. And you know, thanks again, Chris, for that.
Of course.
So Chris, the one that, as a follower, and I've been a follower for some years. I've known you for a while.
Yep.
And I'm a follower to DPF, and you know, I may be a little bit you know, biased here. But one of my favorite things is the DPF garage. I've had the good fortune, Rob's had the good fortune of being there.
Yes.
You know, we were there a couple weeks before Christmas, and just
We had a great time.
great time. Great time.
It was awesome, guys.
Yeah. So you know, with the, you know, obviously, I'm sure you see that on here. I'm sure you probably get a lot of people that say, "Yo, where's the DPF garage? Because I'm coming over."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, do you get that a lot? Do they ask you
Yeah.
that?
So that's why I had you guys sign the NDA when you came over, and I sent the address. I was like, you can't say where it's at.
Yeah.
It's like Area 51, and then the DPF garage is like right below it. But it's, you know, it's getting closer. The gap's closing. It is crazy because like people think, you know, that it's like a public bar.
Right.
Oh,
You know.
really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And maybe that's my fault because how I portray it. But
It looks like a bar.
right.
The inside.
But yeah, a lot of people like, you know, and we've tried it. I've kind of brought outside people here, but you know, the problem is, and Mike, you're going to understand this one. The problem is like, I don't have a bathroom inside here. And, you know, you have to go inside, and Mike
found out the
knows,
hard way.
right. But Mike knows my family. He's just uncomfortable. And Mike, I'd like you to talk a little bit about the bathroom issue.
You know what? So, you know, picking Chris's brain here, he's like, yo, come on over, you know, and Chris being the guy that he is, fully welcoming, come on over. You know, we're having some pizza, having some beers, and before you know it, the podcast is going live, and Chris is doing his thing. And we've been slugging down a few beers here.
Yeah, we were over there like an hour, almost a half.
Yeah.
before the show.
At least an hour and a half before the podcast.
Yep.
And the podcast is probably about 45 minutes into the podcast. And I got to piss. And I didn't want to disrupt the podcast, but I got to the point where I'm like, I either got
Knocking
to
around.
piss myself or like piss somewhere. So I was parked right out front and had a 2-liter bottle in the car. I knew that there was one in the back. Emptied it out, and I had to piss in the 2-liter in the front seat of my car. Thank God my windows are tinted, and I damn near filled that fucking thing 3/4 of the way. Rob came to the car at the end, and he's like, "You weren't fucking lying, right, Rob?" It was damn near filled 3/4 of the way.
Oh
One of
my
your
God.
proudest moments.
I know. I was like, "Damn, that was a lot of piss."
that cracked me up when I was like, oh man, I says Renee's in there. You know her, Mike. Like he could just walk in and just like,
I probably could. I just did.
yeah.
But hey, we wouldn't have this story, right?
Yeah.
The fact that after the show you said, I thought of it during the show that you guys probably had to go to the bathroom. You didn't even think of us then, so that was great. Oh, there's my wife.
Rob's wife's here. Yeah. All right. So speaking of wives, right? So Saint Renee, right? The DPF wife here, right? So it seems like, again, from following you on the page here, there's a love-hate relationship, which I love, about the DPF garage, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, speak for Renee for a minute, right? And what she love about the DPF garage? What she hate about it, Chris?
So I think she loves that she's able to watch her vampire shows,
right?
Without me kind of like, or Virgin River or, those kind of things where I'm like, I don't want to watch this bullshit, So I just kind of come out here, but like at a certain point, it's been like, I don't know. I'm like, Renee's like, are you going out there? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what's on? And I was like, I go through my app and I'm like, Wyoming State is playing Boise State in basketball in preseason. And I was like, I just want to watch it. So the love-hate of it is like, it's only been how it is recently. Like this was like, we have a 2-floor garage. So like all of our decorations and stuff are upstairs, but I was like out here when it was cold. Before I had like a space heater, then, you get like one of those other heaters that I have on the wall that does air conditioning. But so I think boys need a place to do their thing. And I think girls need a place to do their thing too. And I love this place. I love we grew up with Cheers, and I have my spot. It's over to my left here. It's like, that's where I sit. I can kind of like look outside and kind of see what's going on. I have the TV behind me. I have like a radio. But I think Renee hates it more than loves it.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. And
maybe it's transition from the beginning. She probably loved it a little bit more, and she's grown to maybe it's getting.
Well, I abused it. It's my fault. Right. I abused it. It's my fault. Like, I don't need to come out here every day and watch Wyoming versus Boise State, but I don't know. Like,
you always need your alone time too.
That's it.
It's your fortress of solitude that you have built, Superman.
That's it.
That's fantastic, man. It's great. Great.
Renee's got to be one of the biggest fans of the Trump Phil's fans, right? The whole idea and everything.
If it couldn't, like if your partner and your wife, husband, is not like able to like understand that it's a passion of yours, and Renee like allows that to happen, right? But it's also like she understands that there's like the philanthropy part of it. So like I'm doing bad stuff by drinking every night, but then I'm doing good stuff by like, giving back. So I don't know. It's yin yang.
Let's commend Renee. Thank her.
I'm so thankful for Renee.
Yeah, definitely. She's outstanding.
I do keep Twisted Tea light here all the time, so there's never a point where she's going to come out to the garage and say I want one, and it's not there. So that's one thing I'll say it's important.
So Chris, we know it's like got to be down, like the yin and you guys are the yin and the yang, and. We got opening day, not too far coming up here, right?
Yeah.
So, which I gotta imagine, it's probably like Christmas morning for you, the DPF fans.
Yep.
And the DPF community. So I know you and Renee have a little bit of a scheduling conflict. So am I wrong? Am I right about that a little this year?
Give us a scoop.
She has a scheduling conflict. I knew when opening day was going to be, 300 days ago. So
What
we
is
get
it,
in the
a wedding?
mail. Yeah, we get in the mail. It's like a wedding, and I'm like, I'm not. She's like, oh, it's this day, and I says, I'm not going.
We were trying to
And
figure out who's getting married.
it's someone in
If you don't
her
want to
family.
talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's someone in her family. And you know, I wish them well, like, but I think that they would respect it. Like, I want to go see the Phils.
Yeah, this
I
is my
pulled,
time,
I pulled,
you know?
yeah, I pulled the youngest out of school. Like, fuck it, it's March. She's not gonna miss a goddamn day of what, like fucking
Right.
math.
Yeah.
Pull her out of school. She's gonna remember forever that I took her to opening day. You know, and with the wedding stuff, I don't know. Like, I was like, Renee, find a plus one.
I think that's good parenting. Because your kids will remember stuff like that. Take
Yeah.
them to school.
Experiences.
Yes.
That's what this generation's about anyway. They're all about
Yeah.
experiences. They are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what? I think they're onto something here too. You know what
I agree.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yep.
You know?
But you know, like opening day, yeah, it is Christmas Day to me. Like, I can't wait. I put up the bunting in the garage. I love it. Like, I don't know, the opening week, opening, you know, month. It's just awesome. I don't want to miss it. There was, I think, 2 years ago where I stupidly didn't take off like a Friday, and Thursday it rained, so I couldn't go in to the game on Friday. And like, it was one of the first only opening days I've ever missed. I wanted to fucking off myself. I was like, I can't fucking believe I did this.
Never again.
Never.
Again.
That's exactly what I said. You're exactly right.
So you guys do those tailgates down there. You used to do an opening day tailgate or play later in the season?
So we're probably going to do like BYOB tailgates. Like, hey, we're going to be here, and everyone kind of like brings their stuff. We'll bring yards because, you know, we partner with them and like to give that out. We want people to try yards, so do some yards. There's nothing planned yet, but we will. Like, and that's the thing. It's so cool. Like, we'll say like, hey, we're going to be in M lot, and we're going to be at, you know, signpost M2, and like, people just come by that are like DPF fans and like just want to hang out, talk baseball. You know, a lot of people we've seen over and over before. We see them in the playoffs. We see them throughout the year. So like I do love that part of it. You know, it's like the game's at 3. It's like, first thing I do is like, what time did the gate, you know, the parking lot gates open? Because people are like, what time are you going to be there? And I'm like, whatever time the fucking parking lot gates open. Like, what are we thinking?
You're a celebrity. I would say. Not on the scale of Tom Cruise, but you know,
Yeah.
you're getting
And not only that, but like, you know, here you are. We talked about it's a community, right? But it's an online community. And as much as you guys are basically, you know, chatting and talking, there's that lack of the face-to-face, right? Face-to-face connection. So they want to put, you know, like that picture to that logo, that, you know, that DPF logo or whatever it is, and be like, like, and further solidify that bond that you guys have, which again, what we were talking about, like, is kind of the essence of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when we go out places, it's funny because like the DPF wives, like, they want to meet them more than us, right? Because we're mostly guys that are fans, and they're like, oh, I want to meet your wife. They want to meet Chris's wife. They want to meet the wives. I get it. I would too. But it is a pretty cool thing to be able to be like, you know, someone's like, oh, can we get your picture? And I'm like, a picture? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like astonished at it because it doesn't make any sense to me.
How did the wives accept that? Are they cool with it?
Yeah, I think that they like it. I think that, you know, there's a bunch of weirdos though, because like, you know, a lot of dudes are weirdos. So like, there's like we got to watch out. We were talking with, you know, like, I think there's a Drunk Phil's fans wives page. They haven't gotten dick pics yet, but No, actually they did. I think Dugan saw one, like he was up late at night and he deleted it before the wives could see it because like we see that page too. So, but yeah, so fucking weirdos.
Some weird dudes.
Yeah, just weird dudes.
You know, like that's what they're waiting for at 7:00 right at their dinner.
Couldn't
You know
wait.
what? I could use a really solid dick pic right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, just send a
It'll
few
top
over.
my evening off a little bit better than a nice good old fashioned dick.
Yeah, then save it, put it into a file, and like it's a year-end dick pic one, and they just kind of review them. And they're like, "Wow, look at this nice one."
That's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
On this date, I got this one. This is a nice one.
That's a cool. I just thought of that you said that maybe make a Drunk Phil's fans calendar. That'd be awesome. And do like a charity thing, maybe. If you wanted to, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. What do you mean, like the wives or us, Rob? Because like I like,
Whatever you want to
we're just like, yeah, just dicks. Like whenever the dicks came, like on the 21st, it came from like at whatever the handle was, and look at that.
All right, let's get past
It's we know it's dead ass winter here. It's fucking 20 degrees outside, but me and Rob were sitting down last night. We were talking, kind of huddling up for his game. Like, fuck, man, pitchers and catchers are like a month away. Like, so we're gonna be reporting for spring training. Like, what's the DPF community? What's their plans for spring training? You guys got anything coming up?
So, is someone singing the national anthem, and should we pause for a second because I can hear it like loud and clear? Should we take off our hats, Mike?
You know what?
Let's just stop it. Yeah, we'll be able to appreciate that.
So it kind of faded away.
Okay.
So I
got my
love
headphones on and I'm half deaf. Anyway.
It was funny because it was like I was like, is there someone singing right with you guys? So we're going to spring training. My wife and I think a bunch of other DPFers are. We're going from. I like to go down for St. Patrick's Day. So we'll be down 3:13 to 3:20. I go to 2 games. Well, we're planning on 2 games, guys. Like wink, wink. I think Renee might be watching. I'm going to 4. She didn't know about the other 2, but I'm going to 4. Yeah. So we stay at Clearwater Beach. Renee likes a cocktail, and we make sure that all the cocktails on Clearwater Beach, we have a taste of each one of them. We go to each bar, and one of my favorite things is just to go to dive bars. And they have some down there. There's a lot of tiki ones and we're going to pedal out here on the water. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want fucking pedal nothing. I just want to sit and drink fucking tiki drinks, rum runners. I kind of swear off beers for that weeks, guys. I just don't drink beers. I just drink rum. There's nothing like a rum load. But down there, it's such a fun time. When you go to the game in left field, there's Frenchie's Tiki Hut. They're doing rum runners and all these cool drinks. We just go out there and get ripped and watch the game. Well, you watch 3 or 4 innings of it when Bryce Harper and the guys are playing, and after that it's some fucking bozo you don't know and don't care about, and you're like, all right, let's just toss them back. So
yeah, I went down there with my wife last year for the first time ever. Had a good time. We stayed at Clearwater Beach. Just everyone around. It's a lot of fun. Out at that tiki bar, and then even at night going out and seeing everybody.
Yeah. If you can stay in Clearwater Beach, stay there. Don't stay in Clearwater, but stay in Clearwater Beach because it's just you can walk everywhere. It's just so much fun. We got these they had rental bicycles, and it was the weirdest thing, guys. In the morning we got this bicycle, and Renee and I were like, hey, let's they don't have a boardwalk, but it's kind of like a cement path. We're riding this thing, and like, goddamn, don't you know it? It went right into a dive bar. 11 o'clock in the morning.
Walk through the flame.
Couldn't even control it. Like the bike was like,
Like you did.
yeah, it was beautiful. But I love, if you haven't had a chance to go to a spring training and you're a Phils fan or even not a Phils fan, it's March. It sucks here. It's still cold and dark down there. It's fucking awesome. So check it out, guys. But yeah, I'm excited about that. No,
my birthday is like right in that period there on March 19th, right? So like, I gotta get my ass down there. It's like a bucket list thing that I need to do. You know, I've heard nothing but amazing things. You talk about the Tiki Bar.
Yeah,
I gotta fucking experience this thing firsthand.
Mrs. Mike, you heard it first. He's not getting any younger. Get his ass down there.
You hear that, Tina?
That's it. Birthday present, team. Tickets to Clearwater would be amazing.
I'll try and take it.
Yeah, for Mike's 40th birthday. That'd be a good time.
That's great, man. It's great, pal. So yeah, I mean, so right now, like, talk to me. I've got a quick question for you. Kind of keep it a little bit light here, Chris. Like, you said a couple Phillies that you weren't really big fans of. Who are you a big fan of? Who's your favorite active Philly on the roster right now?
Zach Wheeler. Immediately, Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I love a dude that just grabs the ball 35 times a year, 30 to 35, and just pitches 6 to 8 innings every fucking time. This dude is an absolute stud. I think that, like, we think of, like, we're going to talk about this guy in the way that we talk about Cole Hamels, Steve Carlton, Robin Roberts. We're going to talk about Zach Wheeler in this way in 10, 20 years. This dude is an absolute stud, and appreciate every moment this guy is pitching.
Wow. You know what? Like, that's a fucking bold statement to put him in that fucking kind of category. For me. And I told you, Chris, like, when it comes to the Phils, kind of a fair weather fan. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try and say that I'm gonna hop on the bandwagon. I probably watched more Phils games this year than I did ever. But those names, they resonate with fucking Philly greatness. And,
Yep.
Wow. I gotta watch more of Wheeler's games.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Who are you guys? Like,
Michael Jack is my favorite fucking Philly of all time, right? I mean, I grew up fucking when I was a young kid. One of the sports that I did play, and when I say play, I mean I wasn't really that good. Was baseball. Like, everybody fucking played baseball. Played it in the spring, and that was it. And everybody fucking fighting for number 20. In the clubhouse in New Jersey, was Michael Jack, right? I mean, what I loved about Michael Jack is, like, he was a fucking Philly his whole career. He never fucking went anywhere else. I remember watching games as a kid and hearing Harry fucking scream, Michael Jack Schmidt, like, the guy hit 500 home runs. I remember that I still have the newspapers in my house from when he did that. Like, I fucking love him. And I see that there's a documentary coming out on Michael Jack Schmidt, and I can't fucking wait to see it. I'm excited.
Yep.
Yeah, like, I love Harper. Just there's 9 guys on the field, and then he's batting, he just like takes over a game somehow. That's like only a basketball player should be able to do that. But like in the playoffs, some of those playoff performances are amazing.
So the one thing I'll say about Zach Wheeler, like, today he just came out and said he's, him and his wife are expecting another child in June. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, we're playing in June. Like, that there's 9 months in between. Like, have sex with your wife in fucking February. Yeah, you can time it. Have the kid in fucking December. In the off season, like, he's going to miss 2 or 3 starts possibly.
He might not even miss it. Like
I think Zach's going to be like, I'm not missing the start. I already have enough kids. Like, I'll figure it out.
So, all-time favorite Phil? I mean, I kind of mentioned Michael Jack. I mean, who's your all-time favorite?
So I love Robin Roberts. And it's a guy that was like before my time, never saw him play live, but it's like one of those things my dad ingrained in me. It was like, I was a pitcher growing up, and he's like, Chris, this guy pitched 9 innings, 28 games in a row. Like a guy that just took the ball, threw it over the plate, wasn't kind of like nibbling. Like he was like economical before, and he gave up a ton of home runs. But I love Robin Roberts. I wore number 36 because of him, but like he's my favorite. But it's so tough to like, like you're saying, Mike Schmidt. Oh my God! Like how can you Richie Ashburn and Steve Carlton? But I'm going with Robin Roberts. Like I love the blue collar feel of a player, and I think that's what we demand and deserve.
And you know what I can appreciate there, the connection with your dad there too,
Yeah.
right? So like, dad comes up like that was dad's fucking hero, right? I'm assuming,
Yeah. Yep.
Right? And he kind of shared that. He's like, yo, you didn't get to see him play, but the grace that your dad held this guy in,
Yeah.
just you were like in awe, right?
Well, yeah, because
course.
it's the other one is Dick Allen, and he just got into the Hall of Fame. And my dad was like, Dick Allen in 1964. He's like, my dad's 20, and he's like, this guy came on the scene with a fucking 44-ounce bat and just was fucking ripped. He's like, when and it reminds me of like when Harper's up now, or when Schmidt was up when we were younger. You didn't go and take a piss. You didn't go get popcorn. You didn't get a beer. When this dude's up, you're staying at the TV. You're sitting there, and like that's what Dick Allen was. He's the first black superhero for the Phillies. No one else did it before. He's the first. Yeah. So I love that. Yes.
Long overdue.
Yep.
Long overdue.
I love how you touched on your dad. I remember my dad would take me to the Phillies games, and I would want to go to the doubleheader.
Yeah.
My dad would be like, of course, he'd say, all right, we'll go to the doubleheader. 2 games instead of 1.
Yeah.
And it was slow back then, but I still did it.
Yeah, the Twilight doubleheader started at 5:35. You got home at like 1 a.m. and loved every moment of it.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Stay. You can hear it in the background here. All right. So, Chris, we recently started a segment where we're kind of visiting local watering holes and we're kind of meeting up with some folks there. And we're calling it Beers with the Boys unofficially. We just filmed one like to record it, and like we're gonna edit it here, and we plan on like kind of visiting like local spots in and around Philly. We were at Kensington Pub on Sunday. Amazing. I went to St. Joan of Arc, which was right around the corner, and we actually saw some local people in here that I went to school with. It's like Vicky, like, yo,
oh, that's cool.
You in? It was great. And it was just awesome. It was, and yeah, it's in Kensington, but it's almost like kind of chic to be there too. Like there's people that are in there in the courtyard, and again, one of the reasons why we're doing that is we want to kind of find out like people's favorite places to grab a drink. You know what I mean? So I had gone there a little bit before. I said, guys, got to check this place out. It's pretty awesome. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you, where's your favorite spot right now to grab a beer and watch the film?
So I want to first say, like, I want to welcome you guys to do a show at the DPF Garage because it's my favorite place to drink right now, and I think you should do a show here. Down the line, next one, whatever it is. I love 2 places specifically that are still open. Jersey's and Glenside has been incredible to us. They have 20 TVs. If you were like, hey, I want to watch the Red Wing versus the Blues, they'll put it on. They got every fucking channel. They have the Sunday ticket, so you can like go and watch all the games. It's a huge Phil's bar. There's a nice inside and outside. Glenside, from Northeast, it's 15, 20 minutes away. Barry, the manager there, has been awesome to me. And I love Union Jacks, also in Glensides. I lived in Glenside for about 15 years. So, like, these were, like, places I would go to a lot. And, like, I still go to. So, Union Jacks wings, they're like, they're a home run. So, if you guys could do something there, it would be cool. It's outside the city, but it's close. Like, it's close, guys. But they're my two favorite.
Yeah, if you're recommending, I would definitely go.
Now, I've been to both of those spots.
Okay.
And so I used to work in Fort Washington.
Oh.
And Union Jacks, which obviously, British bar, you know what I mean? Big soccer kind of following.
Yep.
But they're fucking wings, Chris. I mean, they're going to rival probably, I'm going to say top five in the area.
Yeah.
Definitely, no doubt about
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. And Jersey's just like a stone's throw away.
Yeah,
One thing I
right
love
down
about
the street.
Jersey, like if you ever go to the Keswick Theater, no matter what the fuck you're doing, if you're going to the Keswick Theater for any event, go to fucking Jersey's beforehand. That's the pregame. Great spot. Like you're saying, like I remember being in like the side room there. And it was me and my wife and my buddy and his new girlfriend. And we were going to go see like a Bronx Tale live show with at the Keswick.
Yeah.
And we were in there. We're like, oh, yeah, gave us the remote. You couldn't be more fucking spot on.
They're awesome.
Both those bars.
Yep. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They accept you in with like Drunk Phil's fans stuff. You put stuff over there.
What was that, Rob? I missed it.
Do you do stuff with the Drunk Phil's fans over there at this point?
Yeah, so we did beer exchanges at the Jerseys. So we, 24 dudes bring a case of cool beer, and everyone leaves with like one of each of the cases. So you leave with like 24 different awesome beers. They've set us up there. We've had watch parties at Jerseys. We've done our fantasy drafts at Union Jacks. And then the other one is Yards. Like, Yards is we teamed up with them. So, like, if you haven't been to Yards, it's their 30th year. Yards downtown, like, it is a fucking amazing spot. Like, not only cool beers, but their food's, like, it's chef style. You're not just getting a hamburger. You're getting like, some delicious sirloin burger with beef jerky on the side and blah, 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 blah. It's really cool there.
We have to check. That's one place that I have not been yet. Rob, you've had a chance yet?
I've never gone.
Check it out. Yeah.
Spring Garden, right?
Yeah, 5th and Spring Garden. There's a Target there. You can park in their parking lots.
To get down there.
It's those three places we'll be visiting soon, no doubt about it. Circling back around, and we're gonna take you up on fucking doing a live show in the garage there, pal. Thumbs up.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about yesterday, guys. Like we, just.
Nah, man. Like, listen. You know what?
Even if we can come over just to watch a Phillies game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I'll have more Coors Banquet next time for you guys, though.
My first Coors Banquet I had like 2 weeks ago. Never had one, and they were having a special at the Brick for like the last second to last Eagles game. There it was the Dallas game, right? And first of all, the Brick, 10 beers, 10 domestic beers, $20 fucking.
Where's this at? Is this Academy in?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went there to meet a friend, and I'm like, hold on, like, and of course he was like, oh, I got this one. You get next, right? Of course that motherfucker's gonna go somewhere high end next time.
He's got good,
right? But I had some Coors Banquets, and we were kind of going hard on the Coors. So awesome choice there.
Cool.
So yeah, this is great. Chris, what do the last bar standing?
What's that?
The bar no longer around.
Right, man. So go ahead. I mean, like, so we were kind of talking about like the segment here and what kind of spurred this, Rob, right? and you can kind of talk about it here, like, what kind of sport it is.
So we're doing like our favorite bar, but we're also talking about what bar isn't around anymore that you used to love to go to. Me and Mike had a couple that we were talking about, but what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, so a couple have closed recently, and they're close to us. Mike, at least close to you and I. And I feel like it's because I haven't been frequenting them as much. And I'm sorry
We're
about
to blame.
this, but
We're
like,
to blame, dude. We might be. I'm going to take some of the blame. I feel like it. Right?
it is
I feel like
us. Yeah,
Garage
it's
closed
us. The Red Rooster.
Yeah.
The Red Rooster was my motherfucker, man. Like, you know what? Like any day of the week, I could like just go over there, just sit down, have a high life, shot of Jameson, watch a game, get delicious food. Literally 3 minutes away. So I miss the Rooster. I miss the Brauhaus, Mike. I miss going to the Glenside haunts, and then like on the way back, I want German beer. I liked going there. Now it's like John's Sushi House. So there are two that I really I'm sad about now. Then there's the Blue Comet, which is like a cocktail bar in Glenside that was like, it was around for 50 years. This place was like, they didn't have.
I heard of all the other ones, the Blue Comet.
So this one was special, man. It was like not a beer place, but it was like cocktails. You'd get like, I don't know, old fashions and Manhattans. They didn't play no music. They had one fucking TV. It was a black and white TV, and they only played black and white stuff. So it was like a Prohibition era like bar where it was like everything was like dim. I loved it because like Renee said I looked much more handsome there because it was very
The lighting
dark.
was phenomenal.
Very, very dark, and the drinks were strong. Going back in the day, man, I miss Maui. $10 on a Thursday night to get in, and fucking Penny Foster's and Penny Bach and Cranberry. Jesus Christ, that was a fucking great day.
You stole my fucking thunder, you prick bastard. Because I fucking worked there for 4 fucking years, all during college. So Maui holds a really fucking special place to my heart. And I said that to Rob, no fucking Ryan, that's my favorite spot. So I worked there from 97 to 2001.
Okay.
I started out as a bar back, and then I started to pick up a couple bartending shifts. And what I loved about it is that 3 clubs in one at one point, right? You had the Cobalt, you had Margaritaville, and Maui itself, Maui proper. And we had amazing fucking bands coming through there.
Yeah.
I was rattling off some of the names last night of bands. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relaxed. We had Jordan Knight, solo career coming in. Joey McIntyre. Those two guys alone separately, they performed separately. I never seen so many women my age gathered in one place in my life. Now, admission was like $20 at the door, and you got plenty of fucking drinks, right? So like from 8 to 10, it was a fucking race to get shit-faced.
Oh yeah.
I worked my dick off during those 2 hours.
Mike, did you ever see when there was like the carnival outside where they'd have like, I don't know, a fucking cow with 5 legs and like, a goat with 2 heads out in like the volleyball court?
You know what?
I'm not sure if that happened. I think it did, but
now I do remember again some famous people came through there, like Iggy Pop was there one night for the World Tour, and then like there was another like 90s kind of alternative band called the Nixons, and those guys, it was like the Nixons and Iggy Pop were playing fucking volleyball against each other, and Iggy Pop, who was like 60 at the time and maybe weighed like 80 pounds because he probably had a abundance of barbiturates in his system.
yeah.
But like it just was like surreal seeing that. We would have like Baba Booey from Howard Stern because 94th used to broadcast live. Baba Booey would come in and
Bop Lunky.
Maybe you should open this back up.
Huh?
You should open Maui back up.
Dude, one of my favorite bars. No doubt. And only because it doesn't, and I still have my Maui shirt and I was going to wear it tonight because of like this art
To
that we're
reveal.
talking about. I was going to, but I do have it. It's hanging up in my closet, and I will break it out when I bartend for special occasions. And I will say this: honorable mention in Northeast here, Harbor Lights, aka Harbor Fights.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when
Did you
I first
toss
went
it?
there, I thought like fucking Yingling was like craft beer. It was like the first place I had it. I was like, oh wow, like beer comes in like these green bottles. I was like, Harbor Lights. I was like, I went to Caldor and got some fake sea Cavaricis, and I headed over to fucking Harbor Lights.
I know we were talking about. Remember Tail Feathers?
Oh,
That was a good spot.
No.
What's that on?
Tail Feathers was right on like Philmont and Red Lion Road. I think there's a Wawa right next to the Wawa now, but there used to be a bar called Tail Feathers there, and it was just right outside the city, but close enough. Like it wasn't like dangerous to drive to because like you could literally like take 20 steps and be back in the Philly.
I feel like
Wait,
it's
was
like
this like Papa John's? Because Tail Feathers, like Rob, I don't go to ladies clubs, and it sounds like you went to like, it's one of those Delilah's place. Like, Renee, I don't go to those places.
it was better than that.
I have been to Tail Feathers, and it was like a good meetup place. I had two buddies of mine that bartended there, and like it was like you could either like hey, it was in the early 2000s and to my like early 20s, and I'd be like, let's go meet up at Tail Feathers, and we'd either do one of two things. We just either go and get started there and then head out, and spend the whole fucking night there, or if we went back out, we'd wind up ending up back there where the bartenders who were our friends of ours would wind up getting us shit faced. The first bar I remember that had Louis the 14, which I was like, yo, what's that fucking bottle there? He goes, no. The bartender who was friends of ours like, we can't touch that.
Yeah.
That's $250 a shot.
Yeah.
So was Tail Feathers right across from like Sweeney's, like the existing Sweeney's?
No, that
Okay.
was Papa John's, John's
Yeah.
Boardwalk.
Yeah.
But if you come further down, like back towards like Lower Moreland High School,
Okay.
and like so, if you and I we were to go out towards like Tin Pan Alley,
Yep.
and then make the right. You come to the Wawa on the left-hand side there at Red Line
Yeah.
Road.
Yep.
It's right there.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was a great spot. They had like a full wall of taps. It was almost like one of the first like craft beers. If you call them craft beers. So it was a cool
Oh,
spot.
cool.
Yeah. I think they sold out. I mean, it's in a prime location. They sold out to T&T Bank and to Wawa. Probably got a fucking $1 bajillion for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a great spot.
This is great.
It really has, Chris, man.
Cool.
Like, yo,
Yeah, loved it. Love talking to you guys.
Really, it's kind of taken us right on the hour here. Chris, can't thank you enough for joining us.
Of course.
Really enjoyed it. We're going to take you to fuck up on coming back out to the DPF garage
Yep.
to film an episode of the flyby here with Mike and Robbie.
Yeah. Or not, or
Drake.
both. Yeah.
I think we can
Yeah.
mix them both in. Usually
Thanks,
it's
guys.
a better show.
Yeah.
Chris,
Thanks
thanks
guys
again.
for having me on. Appreciate it. Good luck with this. I'm proud to be on your fifth show here. So, good luck, guys. Anything I can do to help, and we're going to do it.
You've been a great asset so far. Great resource, Chris. You can't thank you enough, pal. And
Keep up
Happy
all
to
your
be
good
on.
work, Chris, with all the charity work you do and all that stuff. It's
Thanks, Rob.
amazing.
Yep. Appreciate that. All right, guys.
So we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us for the flyby. Thanks, Chris. And guys, we'll check you guys out in about 2 weeks. All right, so stay tuned. Thanks again.
Go Penn
Cool.
State.
Good night. Go Penn State.
Take care, guys.
James